Welcome everyone to Vested Interest. This is Shane back again from their Stock Pick of the Day video. It is February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day to you and your significant other. Today we're going to take a look at one out of the consumer staple sector, Kraft Heinz. You probably have some of their products in your refrigerator or in your pantry. Let's jump right in. And if you are new here or would like to help out the channel or have just not done so, go ahead and hit that thumbs up down below if you find any value in the content. Hit the subscribe button. Join us on this journey to financial freedom. Join the Vested Interest community and hit that notification bell so you're notified whenever we put out any new content. Doing this really does help a small YouTube channel like me grow. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. And please watch the videos to the end. That's another one that the YouTube algorithm looks at, watch time. So watching the video to the end or a little bit further than you would normally really does help me out as well. Let's continue with the video. This is the Vested Interest Stock Screener. This is how I set up the video. So we're going to run through this criteria list here. This is also how I look at a company on a high level and see if I'm interested in investing. And if it's in my portfolio, it's how I back check to make sure the companies that I own stock in still meet the criteria I set originally. You can pause this and run through it. And back to Kraft Heinz. If you want to know more about them, check them out at www.kraftheinzcompany.com. That's www.kraftheinzcompany.com. That is their homepage where I pulled this information from. And we are writing the next chapter of our history at Kraft Heinz as a compass provides guidance to clarity. Together, our purpose, vision, values, and leadership principles chart our collective courses. They set and establish our new direction, serving as a North Star for the company. Consumers are the center of everything we do, from quality of our world-class iconic brands, and these are their brands above, to our commitment to the communities where we live, work, and do business. They remind our employees individually and as a team why the work we do each day matters. And they really are a consumer staple. They're providing products that you eat, that you snack on. Kraft. I've got a lot of Kraft products in my fridge. When you're cooking burgers or hot dogs, right? You might throw on some ketchup or some mustard from Kraft, or a Heinz product. Mac and cheese, I'm sure you're all well aware of. Oscar Mayer and cheese, if you're making sandwiches for your kids, or Capri Suns go in my kids' lunch boxes. I know Philadelphia cream cheese, Jello, Weight Watchers, Heinz, Kool-Aid. Who doesn't know the big guy jumping through the wall? Back when we were kids, Kool-Aid's Classico is a sauce that I use sometimes for spaghetti. Velveeta cheese. I mean, there's a lot of brand Lunchables. My kids like Lunchables. So there's a lot of brands that are under the Kraft Heinz umbrella you are probably well aware of, and again, probably have in your refrigerator or in your pantry. Now, the reason we are taking a look at them, down 5.45% on the day, big drop on the day. We are talking about the Kraft Heinz Company, ticker KHC, out of the consumer staple sector. Closed out the day at $34.16. You can see the chart, right? Looks like they actually peaked at one point, and then big drop throughout the day. Just overall a big drop. 52-week range as low as $30.68, as high as $41.47. This one is actually currently lower than my cost basis. We'll see that. I do have a position in Kraft Heinz. We'll see that in a little bit. Average volume 8.2 million. Today's was 20.7. A lot of people getting out of this one today. Beta of 0.65. So typically less volatile than the overall market, but you can see a lot of volatility today. Price to earnings, PE ratio, $14.12 per share. EPS, earnings per share, sitting at $2.42 per share. Their earnings date was today, so there must have been some negative news. Either their forecasted numbers didn't look good, or they didn't hit the standards that they set for themselves on earnings on the top and bottom line. So you'd want to look at that and see what's going on, but a big drop on the day nonetheless. Forward dividend is $1.60. They are a quarterly payer. We'll see that here in a little bit. Nice starting dividend yield on this one, 4.43%. Their last ex-dividend date was November 30th. They paid out in December on the 29th there. So kudos to you other Kraft Heinz investors for that. And 1-year target estimate, at least according to Yahoo Finance, where I pulled this information from. They see them going back up, not quite hitting their 52-week high, but pretty close, back to $39.14, which would be some upside from where they currently sit. Now, we're going to jump into the statistics. We're going to go down to dividends and splits. We're going to look at dividend yield theory to see if this one is presenting any value. To do that, you go down to the 5-year dividend yield average, 4.89%. You look at their current dividend yield, 4.43%. And since it is lower, this actually speaks to overvaluation on this one. You want their 5-year dividend yield average to be lower than their current dividend. So this one is according to dividend yield theory, looking like it's a little overvalued. You want more of a pullback, probably closer to this $30.68 52-week low, and it may get there. All right, depending on what the forecast outlook and the numbers that they missed, it may indeed drop lower. Now, they do have a relatively low payout ratio. I like 75% or less. They're sitting at 66.12, so that meets the criteria I'm looking for. A very nice starting dividend yield under the 75% payout ratio I'm looking for. So far, numbers look pretty decent. Now, we're going to get into the financials of the company here a little bit and look at free cash flow. To do that, you'd go into financials, and there's a lot of good information under the financial tab. You're going to find their balance sheet, their income statement, their debt to equity ratios. Are they paying down debt? Is their revenue growing? Is their margins expanding over time or decreasing? All good information you should be able to look at and understand how they make their money. Are they profitable? And for our purposes, we're going to look at free cash flow, because typically if a company has growing free cash flow, they can pay their debts, they can make acquisitions, they can reinvest back into the company, and they can pay out dividends. And to do that, we went back to 2020. We see $4.3 billion in free cash flow, jump up in 2021 to $4.4 billion. Big drop in 2022 down to $1.5 billion, and so far 2023 they've only recorded $2.5 billion. So overall, from 2020, it's actually decreasing free cash flow, although from 2020 to this year, it is increasing as well. And they are repaying their debts. They're not repurchasing any shares, but they are paying down their debt. And that has actually slowed down in 2022 and 2023 as well. So might be something to watch. Hopefully in 2023 and 2024, they continue this trend from 2022, increasing free cash flow. There was also a bit of a spinoff. Mondelez, I think, is the name of the company they spun off. I'd have to look back at the year. That may be why you're seeing some of this drop in 2021. I'm not sure exactly when that spinoff happened, but that might be part of this right here. They spun off some of their snack brand, their snack brands. Now, I recommend more than one source. So another one that I like is stockanalysis.com. You pick any sources that you like. Just make sure you're looking at least 2, if not 3, to make sure the information you're getting is accurate and up to date. And they have 15 stock analysts that have taken a look at this. They call it a consensus buy. And they have a low estimate of $35, which it currently sits lower than their lowest estimate. So if it was to come back up, that would be a 2.46% increase from where it currently sits. They have an average estimate of $40.20. That's pretty close to what we saw with Yahoo Finance on the previous page. That would be a 17.68% increase from where it currently sits. And they have a high estimate of $46, and if it happened to hit that, that would be a 34.66% increase. All the while, you could collect that 4+% dividend yield. Now, I'd like to get into statistics here and see how well the company is reinvesting back into itself, how financially efficient it is. And to do that, we're going to look at return on equity and return on invested capital, ROE and ROIC. Return on equity, I like 10% or better. This does not meet that metric at 6.1%, a little lower than I like. Return on invested capital, same thing, 5.19%, a little lower than I like at 10%. So this does not meet the metrics. That is not what I want to see. I'd like to see them do a little better here. Earnings per share growth, I also look at. I like 5% or better. This is smoking high, 14.82%. I do like that, and that's part of the reason I invested in this company. This is more of a turnaround play for me. It is one that Warren Buffett is invested in. If that means anything to you, it's one he continues to hold, even though he has admitted he probably paid a little bit more than he should have. But he loves the brand recognition and the brand names underneath the umbrella. That's part of the reason he's doing it. And I believe, like he does, that this is a good brand to be in. I don't think it's going anywhere. And over time, I think they're going to recoup and rebound nicely. But that's up to you to decide. Now we're going to look at the dividend history real quick. Let's take a look at my position first. Again, I do have a position in Kraft Heinz. I own 186.62 shares. I am down 6.67%, right? My cost basis is $36.60. It's currently below that at $34.16. So this might be one I throw some more money into, bring down my cost basis, bring up my dividend yield, and bring up my potential future return. I also have a covered call on this one. So for those of you who tune in to my updates on Saturday or Sunday mornings, you see Kraft Heinz is one of the companies that I do have covered calls on this week. I did not know that they would miss their earnings or whatever their issues with their earnings report, but I knew they had one, and a lot of times there are big moves around that. So I was either going to, make some money cashing out at $37, right? or it was going to go the other way and I was going to keep the option premium, and we see what happened. So that's what this is here. I do have a covered call on this with a $37 strike price. Obviously, it looks like it's going to expire out of the money. So I'll keep that options premium and probably roll that back into Kraft Heinz, if not this week, next, but try to bring down my cost basis. Now, again, payout ratio 66.12, low payout ratio. Another thing I really don't like about this one, dividend growth is non-existent. They have not grown their dividend for a very long time. It would be nice if they started growing it again. I'm hoping in the next couple of years they do exactly that, but we will see if that happens. So you don't really have to look at their dividend growth here. They're still paying the same 40 cents they were paying back in 2020. But I do like the high dividend yield. So this one I'm willing to hold and see if it is going to turn around. We'll see what happens over time. Well, that is really it for this one. Let me know what you think of Kraft Heinz down in the comments section below. Is it one you're holding? Is it one you are avoiding altogether? Is it one you're selling? Possibly. Maybe you're one of the people who jumped out of this one today based on the numbers. I'll look at the earnings report and see what's going on with it. I have not looked at it yet. I wanted to get this video out. But as always, appreciate you stopping by. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to show me some love. Hit that thumbs up. Ring the notification bell. Most importantly, hit that subscribe button. Join us on this journey to financial freedom. Join the vested interest community. We are dividend growth investors. That's what we focus here on this channel. I do personally read and respond to the comments. I'm always interested to read your questions, opinions, or suggestions for future topics. So if you have a company like Kraft Heinz you'd like me to do a stock pick of the day video on, go ahead and drop it down in the comment section below, and I will work it into the rotation at some point. I have a few other recommendations that I haven't gotten to yet, still on my list. I will get to them eventually. Just give me a little bit of time. And this is Shane signing off, wishing peace and prosperity to you and yours. And remember, financial security comes to those who take a vested interest. Hey, thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you in the next one. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing in this presentation should be considered financial advice. I'm going to share my opinion and investment journey for educational and entertainment purposes. Investing involves risks and can lose money and should never invest any amount not comfortable losing. Always do your own research, invest based on your situation, circumstances, and select criteria, or seek the advice counsel or certified financial advisor.